Singers think they're a Larry loser if they are not making 100% of their income from their singing, but let me tell you, that couldn't be further from the truth. You can make money however you want to and still be a legitimate artist. Don't let them convince you otherwise. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Singer Saved by Sales podcast. I am so excited to have you here for episode number 1. Today we are diving into why I had to find sales, how it saved me, and why I want you to hear this story, because I want you to open up your mind to different ways that you can build your life as a singer, as a musician, as a creative. Maybe you are not any of those, but you are someone who needs to make extra money, but you're feeling boxed in to your current lifestyle. Let this open your mind, let yourself dream, because all of the things we are looking for are right outside of our comfort zone. We just have to convince ourselves to go after. So for those of you who do not know me, I am Jordan Schreiner. I'm an opera singer, I'm a voice teacher, and I help people build businesses online. So I did the traditional path of undergraduate degree to master's degree to summer program to young artist, resident artist training program into freelancing. I was very lucky that I had that path, that it worked for me. But in 2025, we are seeing so many singers build a career in different ways that is not the cookie cutter method that conservatories are teaching. So I want to tell you that if you are feeling stuck in that cookie cutter vision, start to expand your vision, because there are so many different ways that you can build a legitimate artistic career in 2025. So within that traditional path, I will tell you that I had very little financial education around student loans. Okay, so I was in undergrad from 2010 to 2014. I graduated high school in 2010. So I was a first generation college student. So I didn't really know the difference between private loans and federal loans. And because of the way things looked on paper, I didn't qualify for a ton of federal funding. So we were just like, oh, okay, I guess we're taking out private loans because we didn't know any better. So when I went through undergrad, I was really lucky to audition and get a full ride to a master's degree in opera performance. And I had that full tuition waiver, plus they paid me every month to teach classes, teach voice lessons, etc. So there was a little bit of money coming in, so that was nice to pay rent, the car payment, etc. But when I realized in the middle of my master's degree, this is 2015, I woke up to the numbers. I was like, wait, okay, the math isn't quite mathing here. I have $80,000 of student loan debt that is currently deferred because I'm in school. But because these are private loans, I'm going to have to pay these after graduation. They have an 8% interest rate. The repayment amount is going to be $1,000 a month. And I am applying for resident artist programs over here that looks like it's going to pay me $9,000 for a 9-month contract before taxes. $180 a month with housing costs, with car payment, with car insurance, with cell phone, with groceries, with health insurance. I was sitting there like, okay, so how does this work? Like, how do singers sing? And then I realized everyone was living on credit card debt. And I was like, I can't. That is not something I'm open to. That is not something I want to do. So I call it my wake-up moment. I woke up in the middle of my master's degree and realized I don't want to quit singing. I don't want to leave the music industry. I love it. But I need to do something alongside of it so that I can stabilize my income and I don't have to give up on my hopes and dreams. So what I did is that I fell into sales. I didn't even know that I had no desire to sell anything. I had desire to sing. I had desires to teach, but I never thought that sales was going to be something that was going to light my soul on fire. But when you get aligned with a company that you feel good about and you really believe in, then it's kind of easy to share and sell. So I just kind of was ignorance on fire, right? I was just like, okay, well, let's share, let's get on social media, let's be loud and proud. And that's what I did. In my first month, I can remember all the naysayers. Oh, sales, such a volatile career. I'm like, I'm already an opera singer. What are you talking about? Volatility. Sign me up for something that I can make X amount of dollars for every sale. Yeah. It's more than what my singing is making. And I went for it. And I will tell you, in that first month with no experience and just kind of dabbling, I matched my graduate assistantship in commission checks. And I was like, oh, okay, there is money in this. They weren't lying. There's money here. So then what I did is that I just continuously built this, because sales, the beautiful thing about sales is that it's flexible in time and it's flexible in location. So for me, being in rehearsals in weird hours, teaching voice lessons late into the evening, what I did have was pockets of time, random pockets of time before rehearsal, after rehearsal, in between students, that I could be working on my side hustle, and it was going to pay the bills. And so that's what I did. I doubled down on my time management, and I made sure that I was working towards that goal every single day so that I had extra money coming in so I could continue to sing. Now, in 2025, most of us are aware that the professional operatic career is 10 times more difficult to break into than it was 10 years ago, 100 times more difficult to break into 30, 40 years ago. So this is why I am constantly encouraging my students, anyone I come in contact with, to consider multiple streams of income and how can you build something that is in alignment with what you want to do. Because if we can have multiple streams of income as a creative, we can take the financial pressure off of our medium. And that was my first experience that I was like, I want to do this forever because I have an income source coming in over here that is paying the bills. I get to walk into these auditions and not feel any commission breath. One of the things that was really difficult for me was figuring out how to audition and not have that commission breath. You know, that feeling of desperation when you're like, if I do not book this gig, I do not get to pay rent. If I do not book this Messiah, I don't know how I'm going to pay for that car bill that just hit. There's nothing worse than feeling like if something goes wrong in my throat and I have to cancel and I do not get paid, I don't know how I'm going to eat this month. I refuse to live that way. And I don't want any of the artists that I come in contact to ever have to feel that way. And it's not that I don't believe that singing can build you a great income. I do believe that hard work, dedication, resilience, if you stay in it, if you continue to hone your skills, that there is still a world in which you can be a professional musician and make a full-time income. But in the early stages, in the building stages, I do believe it is important that we have multiple streams of income so that we never have to have that financial pressure on the voice, on the medium, whatever you practice. My first audition season in 2015, I can remember I did 18 different auditions in and out of New York City, and I booked 0 jobs. That's just, it is what it is. There was lots of holes in my technique at that time. I was studying with a teacher that wasn't really setting me up for success. She loved me. She cheered me on. We had a pretty good relationship, but like my singing was not great. The repertoire was eh. And so, of course, I wasn't going to book any jobs with the product that I was offering at the time. But I can remember I spent thousands of dollars that year to get $0 in return. And so that is going to happen to many people in this industry. And so if we have other streams of income, then we can start to plan ahead. We can say, listen, I know that I'm going to invest this amount of money into auditions this season, and I might not get anything out of it. I might get 1 gig and it's a complete wash. I might get 2 gigs and I might make $500 profit. But what are you going to do if that happens to you? It's not about making you fearful of success in this career. The whole reason that I wanted to create this podcast is to try to open your eyes to what the realities of this career are in case you haven't found them yet, in case life hasn't quite slapped you across the face yet to wake you up. Things are tricky out there. And so if I can help you build something for yourself, whether it's in sales, whether it's in something completely different, but to open your eyes to the possibility of, okay, I need a parallel career. Because a parallel career can absolutely extend the amount of time that you feel comfortable auditioning until you have your break, until you get that first audition that actually moves the needle. Because it is a numbers game. Sales is a numbers game. Opera auditions are a numbers game. You have to do them to get better. You have to refine your skills to get better. You have to go fall on your face a couple times to realize, oh my God, I did not get a practice room. If I had gotten a practice room, I could have had 30 minutes to myself. I could have calmed myself down. I could have grounded myself. I could have meditated. I could have got a good warm up in instead of doing some lip trills on the way from the train. If I had just spent that little bit of money, I could have set myself up for success. My hope for this podcast is to empower the next generation of artists to build something for themselves that is going to take the financial pressure off of their artistic medium. Whether it's sales or something else, you need to know that there are a ton of opportunities for you to go out and build something that will work alongside of your artistic career. So let's put a pin in it there and let's look forward to next week. Next week, I am going to do a whole conversation on the starving artist mindset that is taught in the conservatory realm. We need to go through and discuss why is this mindset still prevalent in our community and what can we be actively doing every day to break out of that habit and start to see the world a little bit differently as artists. So if you got any value out of this podcast today, I would love for you to click subscribe. I would love for you to take a screenshot of this and share it to your stories, whether that's on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and tag me at JMS Tenor and we can connect. I would love to see what you take away from this episode. I would also love to hear from y'all what you would like to see from this podcast. So please don't be afraid to reach out. I hope that you got some value out of this, and I look forward to seeing you next week.